Hello everyone, this is Soft Brown and welcome back to Garden on Deck. I am going to give you the weekly update. Today is May 8th, Mother's Day. So I would like to take this time to wish all the mothers a happy Mother's Day. And I hope you got time to spend with your children or spend time with your mom. Alrighty, so a lot of things have grown. You can see in the cups there have been a lot of growth in those. I planted more herbs in these here. This one, rosemary. This one is dill. This one is habanero peppers. This one is bunching onions. And this one is chives. They were planted May 3rd. I did not check the packaging to see how long it takes for them to come up. I think most of them said anywhere between 7 and 14 days or 14, 21 days, something like that. Carrots are growing strong. 2 pepper plants. They are growing taller. They have little buds on them. This one has a flower on it. This tomato plant is off the chain. This is the biggest of all of them that has grown wild. This is I think it's the Juliet tomato, and it has bunches and bunches of tomatoes on them. There's there's loads of flowers. I think at one point it's going to start weighing down the limbs, because as you can see here, there's a bunch there. There's a bunch right here. And I know that there's a big bunch of them down up under here. If you can see all of those. I mean, when I say bunches and bunches of them, look at all of those tomatoes. Okay, my cabbage. I'm actually going to cut that cabbage, and I'm going to cook those leaves. I need to check to see how long it takes for this cabbage, because it's forming a head. It's growing nicely. The leaves are really nice, and I love the green leaves. I don't necessarily like the head of the cabbage. So I'm going to look up on that. I think it's a Copenhagen cabbage, and I don't know how long it takes before it matures, because like I said, I've started growing that one last year, and it grew throughout the winter. I have another tomato plant here. As you can see all of the flowers on there, so it's going to give me bunches and bunches of tomatoes. And if you look down in there, there's 1 or 2, maybe just 1, that's about to turn red, and this one actually is a grape tomato. The next tomato plant is a cherry tomato plant. I think this is a grape tomato also. I'm kind of scared to look in these buckets, because the last time I looked in here, there was a tree frog sitting. When I pulled back one of the branches, it was dead looking at me. But oh my gosh, look at those tomatoes. And I see one down there that's actually turned red, so I'm gonna have to get down in there. There's a whole bunch back there. this puts out so many tomatoes. This one here is, I think this is a Juliet tomato plant as well. And it has a few tomatoes on it. You can see them down there. And there's a few there. This is the Roma tomato plant here. And this is the one that had the frog in it. I really don't want to lift up any of these branches because I do not want it to jump on me. But I saw a couple of tomatoes, as you can see back there. There's a few growing there. It's growing big as well. Here is my squash zucchini container. Yep, it's still crowded, but it's still growing well. I don't know how well any fruit or anything will grow on it, but what I've decided to do was, once I got the raised beds and the garden in ground up and running, I was thinking of maybe transferring a few of them out there. Here is 2 pepper plants. This one it's actually growing a little bit taller. In the beginning, it was short like this one. Like this one is still short, but it has a bunch of buds on it. And I didn't pluck off the tops of them because I wanted them to grow a little taller first. But I decided to just go ahead and let it do whatever it's gonna do. I planted 2 of the watermelon plants that I had in that bin there. This one over here is a watermelon black diamond, and this one is the crimson sweet watermelon. Here are my lemon cucumbers. These I know for a fact that I'm going to transplant out in the one of the raised beds or the garden, because I didn't have enough container soil for this one, so I know it's going to need a little more. And here are my other cucumbers. The sun is starting to go down, so that's why they're in the shade now, but I will be moving things around again once I get the beds up. Here I planted my yellow pear tomato, and I have a super sweet 100 I planted in there. These, the yellow pear one and the super sweet 100, may get transplanted out. I have my sweet mint, sage, and peppermint planted there. And okay, down here I planted some flowers. These are gonna go out in front. Chrysanthemums, Shasta daisies, and I also have some, however you pronounce that, I think it's echinaceas. Then I have some black-eyed Susans, and this last one is columbines. Now, I've never grown any flowers before. I'm not sure as to how they should be grown, but I know I read that they should be grown in indoors. Well, I can't grow them indoors, so I did have these little greenhouse trays, and I had the tops of them on it, but when it was a little hot out. I kind of took the top off. But that is an update on the garden on my deck. I have the eggplant there. I have 2 pepper plants here and 2 pepper plants there. No buds on them yet, except for there's little buds on this one. And over here, no flowers yet. And another eggplant there. These zucchini and squash, they will be planted out as well. And I have been watching so many videos on sugar baby watermelons, so I went out and bought 2 of them. Each container has about 4 or 5 watermelons in them. Those will be planted out as well. I think that's about it. I'm excited about my in-ground garden and my 2 raised beds that I'm going to go out now and try to finish up. I actually got them, the 2 raised beds, I got them put together. I'm going to have to level some of that ground. So that's an update on my garden on my deck. And it's really hot out. We had a really cool week this week here in the Atlanta area, and we finally got a lot of sun yesterday, and we're supposed to be sunny today as well. So I'm going to water everything on my deck, and then I'm going to go out into the yard and finish up the gardening out there. All right, you guys, thanks for watching.